All right, my friends, more proof that the financial planning traditional way is bunk. Not that we needed more proof, but I'm going to share with you even another piece of evidence of why traditional financial planning needs to go out the window. And the facts are the old days of financial planning were quite simple. The old days, which are still today, unfortunately. All right, Mr. Smith, you got $100,000 in your IRA. You can take 4% a year off. We're going to adjust that each and every year with inflation at 3%, and you'll be good. All right, that's it. And you're like, well, 4% as this year, that's $4,000. So next year, that'd be $4,000 plus a 3% inflation. Was that 4,120 bucks, right? And then the following year would be 4,250, whatever that is. So okay, I'll take 4,000 this year, 4,120, 4,250, and so on and so on, because we're going to assume my expenditures rise with an increasing level of inflation. I'm on a linear trajectory for my expenditures. Now, we know that's all bunk. We know that now. BLS numbers from the Consumer Expenditure Survey, they show that explicitly. Most researchers now, I don't say the vast majority, most researchers now accept the fact that in retirement people spend less. Now, whether that's due to being forced because they run out of money or just because they get old because they are older now, is still a debate. In fact, I fall on the side that people just spend less. That's my anecdotal experience. I think there's empirical evidence that's true if you look at the various numbers, the data sets. But I think there's a case to be made still that people run out of money, so they spend less. And I think there's some validity to that. I think there's probably more people that run out of money, so spend less, that could be attributed to just blanketly saying you're going to spend less in retirement because you're older. I do think there's enough people who run out of money to make it an issue that you got to be careful. But either way, the facts are you spend less. Now, again, there's always outliers. So the trajectory, kaboom, we can blow that one up. Trajectory with an inflation adjusted amount, we can blow that up simply because not only does it spend less, but I'm going to show you right now why that will prove that was silly too. All right, so a couple things on this. BLS is a Bureau of Labor Statistics. All right, they do the Consumer Expenditure Survey, which is what basically everyone uses. That's a gold standard for the government data set when it comes to spending. That leads a lot in terms of where do people spend, what do we need to focus on. A lot of government statistics are run in government spending programs are run through the CES. So that's the gold standard of consumption in retirement. Now, the BLS there's some issues that people say, they're not doing it right, and there are some issues when it comes to for income. The CES is underreporting some expenditures relative to something like this. Well, I'll tell you about in a second. And some researchers say, look, the CES, while good, isn't quite as good as it could be because of I get that, but it is what we're using right now. Now, this right here is going to be from the Federal Reserve Board of St. Louis, the economic research that they do, looking at the real inflation adjustment personal consumption expenditures, PCE. So the Fed has something called the NIPA, which is the National Income and Product Accounts, the NIPA, and they have something called this PCE, the personal consumption expenditures. And this again is used for GDP growth. The CES is used for inflation, by the way. So these are real world numbers that is real world affecting you as we speak. It's not just pointy head academics with green eye shade. It is, but the numbers they come up with affects you. Everything. Your Social Security cost of living, cost of Medicare premiums, just everything. The inflation numbers, the GDP reports that they're saying, all that stuff. And if they report low GDPs consistently, the Fed will lower rates. That affects you. All this stuff affects you. So regardless of, the facts are these are real world numbers that we are using now. So it's silly to just discount them, saying, it's just pointy head people. No, it might well be, but this is a fact. All right, so how does that affect you going back to your own personal retirement plan? The trajectory of your spending with inflation, I'm going to prove to you right now, is false. So here's the PCE, the real, again, adjusted for inflation, personal consumption expenditures. Going back to 1947, this shows the percent change from preceding period, all right? And this is a year. And what you can see is this is 0. Then we got 5% change from preceding period, 10% change from preceding period, drop in expenditures from preceding period. So let's go. First one was Q2 1947, just right after the war, that we had spent 6.8% more than we did the previous period. Go down to Q4 1947, we only spent 0.1% more than we did the previous period. All right, go up here to Q3 in 1950. I don't know why that's so huge. We spent 22% more than we did the previous period. Go down was that Q2 1950, imagine. Q4 1950, we spent 11.5% less. There's something going on there. I don't know what that is. Was that something happened in 1950? I can't. Something big happened in 1950. I forgot. But anyway, there's big stuff there. All right. So let's just fast forward. So here's 73 and 74. And here's Q4 1972. We spent 9.7 more than we did the previous period. Now, I'm telling you right now, did anyone predict in 1973, based on that the market would fall a pretty significant decline? No, no one did. But yet in Q1, we spent 7.5% of 1973 more, which is down from the previous. So we spent 9.7, 7.5, and then all the way down here to negative. We spent 2% less than we did the previous period. So it's a drop in expenditures. It's still going up. We're still spending 7.5% more than we did the previous period. But before that, we spent 9.7% more than the previous period. So did anyone say at the beginning of Q1, oh my goodness, no. And so, I guarantee no one did. Now, this might have been a cause for concern, a significant decline of spending from the previous period, but I don't know. But then it went back up again. That could be a dead cat bounce, 1.4%. So how many people got out of the market because of that? I doubt many. All right, so then you can see right here at the bottom of 1974, we had spent 5.7% less than we did at Q3 1974, and yet the market took off like a bat right there in 1975. So the question is, how many people got out of the market here and said, I'm staying out, and they missed this growth right here? Here's 1980, Q2, that's before Reagan came in. I'm not sure what happened there. Was that the Iran stuff? I don't know. Probably it might have been the Iran stuff. I'm not sure. But anyway, here's 1981 and 82 when Volcker and Reagan did their whip inflation now by raising, that wasn't them, by the way, but they raised the interest rates to whip inflation, which they did, and significant spending there, a decline, which led to a recession for sure. But that proved to be a wonderful thing. And ironically, no one thought Reagan would be reelected then because the economy was in dire straits, and he won with, I think, the biggest landslide in '84 since what's his name? Johnson beat Goldwater in '64. So anyway, so there you go. All right, so now look at this. Here we're going back to modern era. Here's 2004 Q2 is up 2.5%. Here's 2000 Q1 2005 is up 2.4%, down 1 point or up to 1 point. You can see each and every quarter, and this is obviously the Great Recession. Here's a 2001 recession after terrorist attacks. Here we go. Let's see, what's this? 2017 is up 3.9. Q1 2018 is only up 0.5. Then we're right back up to 3.5. And so this is what they face with the GDP stuff, if that makes sense. This is where they get the GDP. And here we go, Q4 2018 up 2.8%. The point about this, it goes up, it goes down. Your expenditures go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. There's no reason at all to sit there and say, oh my goodness, I'm going to spend 4,000 this year, 4120, 4250, blah blah blah. Just come on, man. There's nothing that shows that. It doesn't. That's not reality. Will you spend more if the economy's in a crisis? I bet you're going to tighten your belt. Will you spend more if the economy's going gangbusters? I bet you probably will. Just the nature of the beast. But when the economy starts tightening up, you say, yeah, back off a little bit. That's the way markets are. Not just stock market, but individuals exercising millions of different unique transactions each day. Every single person is making a decision every day, all the time. I can drink this, you can buy this Walmart brand clear ice, or do I have enough money that I can splurge on the sparkling ice brand clear ice? That's what's happening. And you can see right here, up and down, personal consumption expenditures. Now, just real quick, when it comes to BLS and the CES and PCE and all the various databases and whatnot, there's always someone says, well, that's not true because, I'm telling you, that's fine. But just realistically, common sense says, 2001, we just got bombed by terrorists, or got attacked by terrorists through 9/11. I'm not sure if that's going to end well. And you may or may not remember, but in October of 2001, remember that plane crash in New York, right outside Long Island? We didn't know if there was another terrorist attack. How many people are going out there living large during that time? I guarantee you were spending less because you're like, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I better be prepared. I guarantee it. And so the idea that if you're in a retirement, you're not going to do that, you're just going to keep spending more. Now that's with a terrorist attack. But here's just a great recession, no terrorist attack. I mean, here's just in 1990. I mean, that right there cost Bush the election because Perot ended up running to beat him. This tiny little recession. I'm guarantee you tighten your belt because you're like, things are tight out there. I don't feel like I feel like buying raw lobster now. I'm going to go buy liver or something like that. So anyway, that's another reason don't fall into the fallacy of traditional retirement planning because it's just it leaves so much to be desired, my friend. It really, really does. All right, I hope you like this. I hope this helps. And again, just relax. See how much your expenditures are going to be. Are you going to pay off your mortgage? Hopefully. Are you going to reduce your transportation costs? I'm sure you will. Are you going to eat more at home? Are you going to take some time to grow a garden? Well, your expenditures are going to go down. They're going to go down. And they're not going to go up each and every year with inflation because it's simply, we don't see that ever. All right, we'll see you next time.